Hi, I'm Bezos,
I'm McCready.
and we're from Student Council. We're gonna introduce you to one of Vollmer's fourth grade teachers, Mrs. Pixley. Hi, Mrs. Pixley. We'd like to ask you a few questions.
Sounds good.
What made you want to teach fourth grade?
So I wanted to teach fourth grade because I've worked with a lot of different grades, and fourth grade, I feel like the kids are at a point where they can learn real stuff. We're not just learning how to read, we're reading to learn, and we're doing things like long division, and we're learning about, landforms and all kinds of things where we're learning content, and it's sort of exciting. There are a lot of exciting things that we learn about in fourth grade. So I love fourth grade.
Yeah. What field trips do you go on in fourth grade?
Well, we usually do 3. One is in the fall. Usually we go to Ganondagan, where we learn more about Native Americans. Usually our field trips have to do with social studies. So we learn more about the history of New York State. So we go to Ganondagan and we can see an actual recreation of a longhouse and learn other things. We go on a boat ride on the Erie Canal to learn more about that history. And we go to Genesee Country Museum, where we learn about how people used to live a long time ago.
How do you reward your students?
One of the things that I do is I have a marble jar, and the class votes to decide what reward they're working together on as a whole class. And when they are being awesome, I put a marble in the jar. And for example, when the jar fills up, we might earn something like a movie, or a hour-long recess was one of the ones that we earned, right? That was
And pajama day.
Yeah, we can all kinds of fun things. So, and I also give out our school's yellow tickets to individual kids where they can try to win other things, but that's for the class reward. But thank you for asking me those questions and being good representatives of fourth grade this year.
Hi, third graders. My name is Lucy, member of Vollmer Student Council. I'm going to introduce you to one of Vollmer's fourth grade teachers, Miss Gorell.
Hi, third graders. My name is Apikjan.
Hi, third graders. I am Emma.
I'd like to ask you a few questions to help incoming fourth graders to get to know you. What do you do when fourth graders get nervous or scared?
Well, sometimes fourth graders can get scared or nervous. It doesn't happen very often, but when they do, we just practice taking deep breaths, and we try to do some fun activities. And there's lots of people to talk to in the building, too, if you get scared or nervous.
Hi, Miss Girl. I would like to ask you a question. What field trips do we go on fourth grade?
That's one of my favorite questions. So in fourth grade, we go on 3 field trips. We go on a boat to see the Erie Canal. We go see a longhouse that was made by Native Americans at Ganondagan. And then we travel back in time to the Genesee Country Museum, where we go to visit all these old houses that look just like they did during colonial times.
I have another question. How do you reward your students?
Well, here at our school, we really take a lot of pride in showing our Vollmer values. So when we see kids showing their Vollmer values, they get something called a yellow ticket, and they can put their yellow tickets in the prize box for fabulous prizes. As a matter of fact, one of our classmates has one of the prizes, and it's a huge fluorescent green rolly chair, and it's really awesome. But there's all sorts of prizes you can win for showing your Vollmer values.
Hello, third graders. My name is Lilia Zayabong, a student of Student Council. I'm going to introduce you to one of Vollmer's wonderful fourth grade teachers, Mrs. Tyler. Hello, Mrs. Tyler. I'd like to ask you a few questions to help the incoming fourth graders
Perfect.
to get to know you. So, what do you love about fourth grade?
I love how enthusiastic and wonderful those fourth graders are. They just really love learning. They make every day fun.
That's really wonderful. What's your favorite subject to teach and why?
I love teaching science because it's really hands-on and the kids love doing the experiments. It's a really fun time.
I enjoyed science too when I was in 4th grade.
Can I add a little plug? We
Yeah.
also dissect owl pellets in 4th grade.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
That was really fun.
It was fun.
So, what advice do you have for new students?
Just to relax, come on in. You belong here, and we will all do our best to make you feel welcome.
That's really sweet. Okay, the last question. Is 4th grade fun?
The best grade ever.
That's awesome.
Yes, thank you very much. And 3rd graders, we can't wait to see you. Bye.
Hi, 3rd graders. My name is Caroline, member of Vollmer Student Council. I'm going to introduce you to one of Vollmer's 4th grade teachers, Mr. Titus. Hi, Mr. Titus. I'd like to ask you a few questions to help incoming 4th graders get to know you.
Sounds good.
What field trips do you go on in 4th grade?
So 4th grade is one of my absolute favorite years for field trips. We have 3 amazing trips to go on. The first trip is to Ganondagan, which is a Native American village. Our second field trip is to go on a real boat ride on the Erie Canal. And our third field trip is to visit a colonial village called Genesee Country Museum and learn about colonial life.
Next question is, what do you think makes your class and you unique? Do you do anything extra events like Friday Fun?
So we do Friday Fun. There's a couple other things that we do special in our room. One thing that I like to do is have my students try to find a mystery item. I'll show them an item and they have to do some research each week to try to figure out the mystery items, and you know a little bit about that. You found a few. And one of the other things about me that you should probably know and remember is that I am a magician. So if you're in my class, you might see some magic tricks throughout the year. And even if you're not in my class, you might have some opportunities because I run a magic club after school that 4th graders are able to sign up for.
The last and final question is, how do you reward your students?
So one of the big things that we do in our classroom that's a lot of fun is something called class paychecks. And what we do with that is students have the opportunity to earn some money for the work that they complete and for good behavior. And then after a certain period of time, they will get to spend their money at a class auction. So we'll have the room filled with different prizes and students will be able to bid on and win and buy different class items. So a lot of fun in store for you 4th graders. Welcome to Vollmer.
Hi, 3rd graders. My name is Lily, a member of Vollmer Student Council. I'm going to introduce you to one of Vollmer's 4th grade teachers, Mr. Spite.
Hi, everybody.
I would like to ask you a few questions. What do you love about 4th grade?
My favorite part about 4th grade is the amazing students. They come in excited to learn, and they're a lot of fun to work with.
What advice do you have for new students?
I think the best advice that I have is to do your work, be ready to work hard, be ready to listen, and to show what we call our Vollmer values. That would be the advice that I have for students.
Is 4th grade fun?
4th grade is so much fun, but just remember that, like with anything in life, whatever you put into it is what you get out of it. So if you come to school ready to learn and ready to have fun, then you will definitely have fun.
Okay, bye. That's it with interviewing Mr. Spite. Hi, 3rd graders. My name is Lily, member of Student Council. I am going to introduce you to one of Vollmer's 4th grade teachers, Mrs. Lamana. Hi, Mrs. Lamana. I'd like to ask you a few questions to help the incoming 4th graders to get to know you.
Sure.
How do you welcome your new 4th graders?
Well, in the beginning of the year, we like to learn all about each other. So we do a lot of team building activities. We read a lot of read alouds and we do a lot of fun stuff together.
Okay. Next question. What do you think makes your classroom, your classroom and you unique? Do you do any extra events like Friday Fun?
We sure do. Friday Fun is one of our favorites. And we also have a classroom store. So by the end of the week, if you're working really hard, you get money. And then you get to spend that money in your classroom store.
That's nice. I work really hard. Can I get a prize?
Sure you can.
Yay. Bye. That's all for today. This is Lamana.
Yay.
Hello.
Hello, third graders. My name is Lilia Zayavong, and this is
Hania, and we're both former students
of Mrs. Gramlich. We are also student council members. We are going to introduce you to the wonderful teacher, Mrs. Gramlich, one of Vollmer's fourth grade teachers. Hello, Mrs. Gramlich. I'd like to ask you 3 questions to help incoming fourth graders to get to know you.
Sounds good. Want me to hold on the microphone?
Okay. How do you welcome your new fourth graders?
Thank you, Hania. That's a good question. This is my second year at Vollmer, and every year, whenever I have a new class coming in, I spend a lot of time just talking to them and figuring out their interests, what they did over the summer. I tell them a lot about myself, and I know a lot of teachers do that as well, and that's really important. But I feel like on the first day, we spend almost the whole day just chatting and getting to know each other, and I find that really fun before we have to get into maybe logging into our Chromebooks and all of those different activities we have to do to get ready for the school year. So really talking to everybody and getting to know them and them knowing me pretty well in the first day.
That's very nice. What do you think is really important for all fourth graders?
Thank you, Hania. That's a good question. I feel like from my class last year, that these girls, and they'll probably remember this, and this year, being independent learners is really important. And I try to teach all my students that a lot. I think Hania and Lil did not have an issue with that, but I feel like that's really important for fourth grade. And kind of opposite of that, it's also important to learn how to work with partners and groups, because that's a skill that you'll be using probably like the rest of your life in some way. So being independent learners, but then also learning how to be productive in a group or partner setting.
That's very nice. What life lessons do fourth graders focus on a lot?
Oh yeah, this is a good question. I think fourth graders, we at least in the class last year and this year, we focus a lot on expressing our feelings and learning how to talk about them and having discussions with the students and helping them to come up with a solution for their problems, and having those discussions and finding time to talk about that, even if it takes a little bit of time out from our lessons. So I think like having those discussions and learning how to express yourself in a healthy way is really important. And I try to focus on that if there's any potential issues. But Hania and Lil know that we didn't really have many issues last year or this year, but even anything from big or small, it was important to talk about those and learn how to express ourselves.
That's very kind of you to talk about those.
Thank you so much for letting us interview you, and thank you for giving us some of your time too.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, third graders. My name is Lily, a member of Vollmer Student Council. I'm going to introduce you to one of Vollmer's fourth grade teachers, Miss Collins. Hi, Miss Collins. I'd like to ask you a few questions to help the incoming fourth graders get to know you. First question, what do you love about fourth grade?
I love the students. I love getting to meet new friends, because even though you're here to meet new friends, I get to meet new friends as well. I love that all the students come from different backgrounds, and it's just a wonderful community that we create.
That's nice. What made you want to teach fourth grade?
I've taught a lot of different grade levels. I've taught first grade and fifth grade and sixth grade. Fourth grade is the best. We learn the best curriculum, and we learn awesome skills that will help you be successful in the future.
Last question, what field trips do you go on?
We actually take 3 awesome field trips. We go to the Ganondagan Longhouse Museum, where we get to learn about Native American heritage. We also get to take a trip on the Erie Canal, and we learn about its history. And we take a really fun trip to the Genesee Country Museum to learn all about colonial times.
That's nice. This is it for interviewing Mrs. Collins. Bye.
Hi, third graders. My name is Hania, member of Vollmer Student Council. I'm going to introduce you to one of Vollmer's fourth grade teachers, Mrs. Cataldo. Hi, Mrs. Cataldo. I'd like to ask you a few questions to help incoming fourth graders get to know you. What is your favorite subject to teach? Why?
My favorite subject to teach is math, because I think math can be really fun when you have manipulatives, and you get to work in groups, and you get to really showcase, what you know. So I think I like to teach math.
That's very awesome. What made you want to teach fourth grade?
I went to Rush Henrietta as a student. Fourth grade was my favorite year, so I really wanted to teach fourth grade this year.
That's also very awesome. How do you reward your students?
In my classroom, we have do-good tickets. So you get to earn a do-good ticket, and you try to count them all the way up towards the end of the year, or actually the end of the quarter, and you try to get up to 1,000 tickets. And if you get 1,000 tickets, I buy you ice cream.
Can I get a do-good ticket?
Absolutely, you can. I don't know where else if you can use it in my classroom, but I'll give you one.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Cataldo, for letting me interview you. Bye.
Hey third graders, my name is Lilia. I'm a student council member. I'm going to introduce you to one of the Vollmer fourth grade students, Mrs. Akers.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Akers.
Hi Mrs. Akers, I'd like to ask you a few questions to help incoming fourth graders to get to know you. So, what do you love about fourth grade?
I love teaching fourth graders because they are so much fun. They're enthusiastic. They love to learn. I love to teach, and I love to learn with them. So they are the best grade ever to teach.
That's really sweet. Okay, what made you want to teach fourth grade?
Actually, ironically, my fourth grade teacher made me want to teach in general. She was so wonderful. Her name was Mrs. Lampert, and she used to read to the whole class, and she just made me love learning and reading and writing and doing math, and she made me want to be a teacher.
That's really awesome.
Thank you.
What do you think makes your classes so unique to you do anything extra? What makes your class and you unique? Do you do anything extra events like Friday Fun?
We do Friday Fun, and if you are in Mrs. Akers' class, you will be what I call a pineapple. We have a pineapple theme, and all through the year, we do things that relate to pineapples, and there's a very special poem that I'm going to share with my new fourth graders, and we just have so much fun with our theme. So if you're in Mrs. Akers' fourth grade class, you might be a pineapple.
So, that's all it for the interview. Thank you so much for answering all the questions.
Thank you, Lily. You did a great job. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm a fourth grader here at Vollmer, and I think you should get in a club and be active. I think that Vollmer is a very cool school. It might be different from your old school, but I think you'll have a very fun time here.
Thank you, Lincoln.
I'm a fourth grader here at Vollmer, and I just want to say you're going to make a lot of new friends.
Hi, what do you think of Vollmer?
I think Vollmer is a good place, and it's comfortable for people to learn and to make friends.
Hi, how do you think the teachers are at Vollmer?
Well, I personally think that all the teachers are great, especially Mrs. Tomoti.
How did you feel when you had to switch schools to come to Vollmer?
It was a little bit confusing because I had to figure out the layout of the school. But once I got that memorized and I knew who my teacher was, it was pretty easy.
Thank you.
At first I was confused and worried, but the school looked big at first, but once you get inside and you meet everybody, it's better.
Thank you. How did you feel about switching schools to go to Vollmer?
It was kind of stressful because you didn't know what was coming. You might not know how hard the math questions were going to be, or if you were going to do fractions, geometry. But overall, it wasn't that stressful.
Thank you.
When I came here, I felt right at home.